Teaching children the correct names for every body part, including the sexual organs. I hear a lot of people talk about the importance of this in education, and I've never really given my opinion on it, so let's get into it. Okay, so I hear a lot of discussion about this. People talking about the importance of teaching children the correct names for every single body part. When I think about it, initially, I feel some resistance. It's like if you've got a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, teaching them the words penis and vagina feels like, I don't know, I just got some resistance to it. And I'm thinking, like, where does that resistance come from? It's possible that it actually comes from the fact that when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, adults around me and teachers around me were shy to talk to me about the proper body names. I don't even think we got taught those names of the body at all. Maybe actually when we had diagrams of bodies and we were labeling arms and legs, we just didn't touch this area. So maybe actually I have taken that awkwardness and embarrassment on, and now I feel that now I'm an adult towards teaching children that thing that I was never taught. Humans are weird creatures. We take things on when we don't even realise we're taking them on. But people are having some very important discussions and are speaking passionately about labelling the penis, about labelling the vagina, about labelling breasts on the body. When you really think about it, it's like, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we do that? We don't have a nickname for any other body part. We don't call the arm something else when a child is under 5, and then when they get to 6, we're like, oh, by the way, that's an arm. It's not the other nickname we've been teaching you for the whole of your life. It's just so unusual. It's so unusual. The more I think about all of these topics that I talk about on my channels, the more I feel like adults are so weird. We as adults are so weird when it comes to these things. When it comes to the word sex, we're shy and embarrassed. It's like, come on. So, to teach the child and give the proper names for these parts, from what I've seen, people are saying that it will reduce the shame and embarrassment around these areas for the child. Because when you give something a nickname, like a willy, for example, it hides the... what am I trying to say here? If you give something a nickname and not use its biological name, it's almost like you're hiding something behind that nickname. People are saying that it does create that shyness and embarrassment around that area. And that shyness, embarrassment, that shame, that mystery, that secret is one thing that contributes to the risk of being groomed and potentially sexually molested. Because what it's thought is somebody who's wanting to groom a child can exploit that secret and exploit that mystery in the way that they manipulate the child to do things with those areas that the adult wants the child to do. It becomes an easier task. That's what some people are saying. Right? That's what some people are saying. Some people are just saying straight up, let's get rid of this nicknaming those particular body parts. And let's teach them like the rest of them. Still some resistance though. It's a social and cultural thing that we're living in. I often think like, What is the reason why we've got nicknames for those parts? It's not like it's a new thing. It's not like we're sitting here and when we're like, oh my god, just to use an example to compare to, it's not like when we say, oh my god, do you remember life without social media? Like, we can remember when that part when social media came into our lives. Nobody remembers when children weren't taught nicknames for private areas. It's been going on for generations. But why? I'm going to guess that it's because actually the whole anything to do with sex is hidden as a mystery and kept as a mystery. Stigmatized is the correct word, right? Stigmatized. What's the definition for stigmatized? 1 second. A mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Wow. A disgrace. That's crazy. That's a crazy definition. A mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. I never really looked at the definition of stigma, but you can see how that can happen when you start hiding behind names. People want this in the education system. I'm not sure if it's in the education system yet. You know what? I would love to get into schools and find out what's going on there. I would love to get into schools and find out what's going on there. I wonder if you are watching and you've got children, if you have taught them the real names for body parts, and if you feel like there's an advantage to that or a disadvantage to that, or if you even feel some resistance to that. Drop a comment in the comment section below, because we're all trying to learn from each other. And there's nothing better than learning from people's lives currently. Have you taught children the proper names for body parts? Why did you do it, and why do you feel it's important, and what do you think that's going to bring to the child's life? Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Now let's look at it from the other side. Let's pretend now we're children. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because when we were children, right? And everybody that's watching has been a child at some point, and that's why I feel like it's so important that we put some priority on protecting them, because we were all a child once, and we know that life is full of vulnerability, and we're relying on adults to help protect us. That's why I want it to be more of our priority to do this and have these discussions. So when you were a child, do you remember how giggly it was when girls or boys were mentioned, right? If you take a 7-year-old as an example and you ask them, do you hang around with girls? Let's say you take a 7-year-old boy, right? And you said, do you hang around with girls? Most of those 7-year-old boys would be like, oh no, they're disgusting, right? Same with the girls, with the boys, right? Now, if you were to ask a 7-year-old boy, what do you think about kissing a girl? They'd be like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, it's an automatic response that they've got. Is that because they've been taught it? Well, I don't know the answer to that. Where would they have learnt that? I'm going to guess that it's actually like human nature for a child to repel anything sexual. It's like, oh, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to start teaching the child real body part names, would they give the same reaction? I suppose they wouldn't, because they don't. If they've always been taught the penis and the vagina, then that's all they ever know. But why is the kissing thing so? Why is their automatic response that, oh, that's disgusting? Why is that? Is there something ingrained in children to not want to know or not want to think about sexual stuff. If that's the case, then that shows how powerful the grooming process is once you've fully groomed a child and you're getting them to do sexual stuff. That's a valid point. That's an example to us on how powerful the grooming, manipulation, brainwashing process of a child is for sexual purposes, because it's against their nature. And that's why when you grow into an adult, if you've been through an experience like that, most of the time you're feeling terribly sad that that happened to you. You're feeling like you want to cry because you remember what you were like when you were a child, and you realise that somebody took you and twisted your mind enough to make you do the thing that your nature was against at that moment, at that stage of your life. That's intense stuff. That's intense stuff. So crazy. So crazy. Do children generally repel adult information on this topic? Maybe they do. Or maybe we just have to change that because unfortunately we live in a world where they're at risk. Who knows? I don't know. I don't have the answers. Do I think education systems need to start putting in real names for body parts, whatever age the child is? As soon as they start teaching arms, noses, eyes, legs, ears, chest, then they start teaching the true body parts for the sexual organs as well, and what they do. Do I think that should be implemented? I want to say I leave that answer to the trained professionals, to the child psychologists. They have the right answer. They have the correct answer. Okay? They have the correct answer. People who study children's nature, they have the correct answer. Will that bring us an advantage? But then my question to myself is, well, why wouldn't we do it? Right? If it has the chance of bringing an advantage, just in the way, let's even just take away the whole risk of the child being groomed and us trying to reduce that risk. Let's take that away. Let's just teach them about their body. Because if we don't teach them about their body, who's going to teach them about their body? No one, except for the conversations in the playground where somebody watched something on TV or saw on a music video, or older brother or older sister talks about it and they heard it, they bring it to the playground, then it becomes Chinese whispers. And that is no education, especially on an important topic like this. So, why don't we just teach children about their bodies in a proper biological way? Because they're inside that body. They should know what it is, what it does, what it's there for, how to protect it, how to treat it nicely, how to maintain it, what's good for it, what's not good for it. We should be teaching these things, and included in that package is the real names for body parts. Why is it such an issue? Why is it such an issue? It's a massive issue. It's a massive issue, and it shouldn't be. That's the conclusion that I'm coming to. It shouldn't be a massive issue. It shouldn't be a massive issue. We got here in the UK a charity called the NSPCC, and they've got this video called Pantisaurus. Now, I've watched that video, and that's now in the education system, and it's all about nobody touching you underneath the areas that are covered by your pants, your underwear. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm so pleased that these types of videos are in the education system. I don't think that's an amazing video, but it's great that they managed to achieve that. right? It's great they managed to achieve it. And I've heard that it's been thrown out on all at all ages. Fantastic. It's a great achievement. My hat goes off to you. The NSPCC, you achieved something massive. So maybe it's not about us verbally teaching children about these different things, because, we're embarrassed to do that. Maybe it's all about video. Maybe it's all about that type of media where teachers and education systems can certify that piece of material, that video, and then they can just play it in the classroom, and that's the education done. If that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. I'm aiming to create videos that get into schools. That's one of my big aims, because I think it can be done so cleverly. Something that's unique that the child remembers. Really, that's one of my massive aims. So this is interesting. I wonder what you think. Let me know. Let me know what you think, because your comment could spark a conversation that changes someone's life. Your comment could contain information that would change the way somebody approaches something. That's so powerful. The power is with you and your opinion, because your opinion matters. If you care about this topic, your opinion matters, right? And we're a community of people discussing these tricky topics. We don't know the answers, and definitely in this video we haven't come up with any answers. But if we talk about it a little bit more and more people get involved in the conversation, maybe we will come up with some answers. That's the way I'm thinking about it. So, thank you so much for watching. We'll just keep making more of these. Thank you.